Alright, buckle up, gearheads. Imagine this, a 2012 Chevy Tahoe, beat to hell, still hauling a boat through the mountains like it's nobody's business, while a shiny new 2025 SUV wheezes and begs for mercy. That's right, time saying the 12 Tahoe, a beast from a bygone era, might just outmuscle the high-tech touchscreen heavy rigs of today. Stick with me, cause by the end, I'm gone. Drop a bombshell about one Tahoe that is tougher than anything on the lot in 2025, and you won't see it coming. This is Garticler, the channel where we don't just talk cars, we live them, breathe them, and occasionally curse them when they leave us stranded. So, let us take a cruise back to 2012 and figure out why these Tahoes were built like tanks and why they still give modern SUVs a run for their money. Picture this. It's 2012, and the world's still spinning after the Great Recession. Gas prices are creeping up, but Chevy's out here dropping the 4th-gen Tahoe like a mic drop. This thing was a bruiser body on-frame construction, a V8 that growled like your uncle after too many beers, and enough cargo space to move your buddy's entire apartment in one trip. Back then, SUVs weren't trying to be luxury crossovers or eco-warriors. They were trucks with a family-friendly attitude, built to tow haul and survive the apocalypse. The 2012 Tahoe. It was the Swiss Army knife of vehicles, 7,800 pounds of towing muscle, 3 rows of seats, and a suspension that laughed at potholes. I remember my buddy Dave's Tahoe, a black LTZ with 200,000 miles, still pulling his fishing boat up to Lake Tahoe like it was a Sunday drive. Compare that to a 2025 SUV, say, a fancy new Ford Expedition with its turbo V6 and 9,600-pound tow rating. Sounds impressive, right? But here's the kicker. The Tahoe from 12 could still hang, and it didn't need a computer science degree to keep it running. Let's talk heart and soul. The 12 Tahoe came with 2 V8 south of 5.3-liter, pumping out 320 horses and 335 pound-feet of torque, or the big dog, a 6.2-liter in the Denali trim, kicking out 403 horsepower. These weren't turbocharged, hybridized, or sipping premium gas like a Diva. They were old school, naturally aspirated, and built to last. You could feel the torque ripple through the cabin when you mashed the pedal, like the truck was saying, "Hold my beer." Fast forward to 2025, and the new Tahoe's got a 5.3-liter V8 with 355 horses, a 6.2-liter with 420 or a 3.0-liter diesel inline-6 with 305 horses and 495 pound-feet of torque. Sure, the numbers are better, but the 12 didn't need adaptive air suspension or a 17.7-inch touchscreen to get the job done. It was raw, unfiltered, and didn't apologize for it. I'll never forget wrenching on my cousin's 12Z71 in his garage. Simple bolts. No proprietary software locking you out. Try that with a 2025 model, and you're fighting a computer that thinks it's smarter than you. Now, don't get me wrong, today's SUVs are tech marvels. The 2025 Tahoe's got Super Cruise for hands-free driving, trailer tire health monitors, and a dashboard that looks like it's from a sci-fi flick. But there's something about the 12's simplicity that hits different. Back then, Chevy wasn't chasing Tesla vibes or trying to out-luxury a Cadillac. The Tahoe was for folks who needed to tow a camper, haul kids to soccer, and maybe plow through a snowbank on the way home. It was built on the Silverado's bones, with a ladder frame that could take a beating. I heard a story once about a guy in Montana who rolled his 12 Tahoe down a ditch, climbed out, and drove it home. Try that with a unibody crossover today, and you're calling a tow truck. Let's stack 'em up. The 2025 Tahoe's got a max cargo of 122.7 cubic feet, which is damn good. But the 12 wasn't far behind at 108.9 cubic feet. And it felt more usable because it wasn't stuffed with gizmos eating up space. But it's not just numbers, it's the stories. The 2012 Tahoe was a cultural icon. You saw it in rap videos, cop shows, and pulling horse trailers in rural nowhere. It was the SUV for people who didn't trust computers to do the heavy lifting. I remember a road trip in a buddy's 12 LS8 of us crammed in, laughing our asses off, with the V8 humming and the AC blasting in the Nevada heat. That thing didn't care about the 110-degree tinks or the fact we were carrying enough gear for a week in the desert. Today's SUVs, with their lane keep assists and auto parking, feel like they're driving you, not the other way around. The 12 Tahoe, it was your partner, not your babysitter. Now, here's where it gets wild. I promised you a bombshell, and I'm delivering. There's a 2012 Tahoe out there, a one-off, custom built for a Chevy exec back in the day that's tougher than anything you'll find in 2025. Word is, it's got a reinforced frame, a tweaked 6.2-liter V8 pushing 450 horses, and a suspension lifted from a military-spec Humvee. It's sitting in a private collection in Detroit, and it's the kind of machine that could tow a house through a hurricane. Why is it tougher than a 2025 SUV? Because it was built before the bean counters and tech bros took over, when Chevy still made vehicles that felt like they could outlast the pyramids. I've been chasing a chance to drive it for years, and if I ever do, you bet it'll be on this channel. So, what's the verdict? The 2012 Tahoe was a beast because it didn't pretend to be anything. It wasn't It didn't need 24-inch wheels or a touchscreen the size of a TV to prove its worth. It was built for people who needed a truck that could play nice with the family, but still throw down when the going got tough. The 2025 SUVs. They're loaded with tech, smoother rides, and better mileage, but they've lost some of that raw, unapologetic grit. Next time you see an old Tahoe rumbling by, give it a nod. It's a survivor from a time when SUVs were built to last, not just to impress. Alright gearheads, that's the tale of the 12 Tahoe versus the new kids on the block. What do you think? Has Chevy lost its edge, or is the 2025 Tahoe the best yet? And here's the big question. If you could own any SUV, new or old, what's your pick and why? Drop it in the comments, share this with your car crazy crew, and hit that sub button if you're all about living the gearhead life. Until next time, keep the rubber side down and the stories rolling.